The strong should help the weak, and the rich should help those who are less fortunate. The Sultan's Tita. For that reason, it is interesting to discover how this notion of Malay culture, which is embedded in the very fabric of Brunei's collectivism and high-power distant society, may impact on public sector leadership. Understanding the dynamics and complexity of these elements is the motivation behind conducting the case study titled Cultural Values and its Influence on the Enactment of Leadership in Public Sector Organizations, a case research in Brunei. Hi, I'm Hajar Jurida Paidin. We'll be exploring the various management contexts and provides valuable insights into how national culture influences leadership practices in the public sector of Brunei. This presentation will cover a brief introduction and findings of the case study, which include 4 Brunei cultural values, the impact of Brunei cultural values on leadership behavior and decision-making processes. Existing research on the influence of culture on leadership practice will also be covered. The influence of culture on leadership practice in Brunei, future recommendations, as well as conclusion. Brunei is home to one of the world's longest continuously ruling dynasties. The Brunei government system is influenced by its historical, religious, political, and cultural background. The case study explored the influence of national culture on the enactment of leadership in public sector organization. It followed qualitative interpretivist research approach, employing semi-structured interviews involving public sector's employees and leaders in Brunei. The focus is on the enactment process, which is the experiences of leaders engaging in leadership, including the interaction with others that are influenced by its national culture, Brunei Malay Muslim, for the interactions between different levels of employees within public sector, superior and subordinate, and the public sector environment. The concept of Melayu Islam Beraja (MIB) or Malay Islamic Monarchy forms the basis of socio-political life in the Sultanate of Brunei, and the country has been deeply influenced by a dominant Malay culture, one shared by its neighboring countries of Malaysia and Indonesia. From the findings, there are 4 cultural values that influence Brunei leaders. First is Awar Galat, which means shame and humility, which is associated with the respect or reverence one has for others. Second is Menjaga Air Muar, which means face saving. It emphasizes the importance of not disgracing others. Third is Menjaga Periuk Nasi, literally translated as protecting rice bowl, which reflects on how the Malay consider rice as a source of sustenance and survival. Minding one's own business in the pursuit of preserving one's livelihood. Fourth is Tua Menuakan or respect for elders. It is essentially similar to the concept of filial piety. The study highlights the challenges faced by leaders in balancing cultural norms, such as respect for elders and harmonious relationships with the demands of professional leadership practices in the public sectors. This dilemma reflects the cultural tension between traditional values and modern organizational requirements. Furthermore, the study points out issues such as favoritism, nepotism, and cronyism, which can undermine meritocracy in leadership appointments and decision-making processes. This resonates with previous research on ethical leadership, which emphasizes the importance of fairness, transparency, and integrity in organizational practices. Existing research on the influence of culture on leadership practice. From an academic perspective, this study aligns with existing research on the influence of culture on leadership practices. Hofstede's cultural dimensions theory is relevant in understanding how cultural values shape leadership behaviors in different societies. The findings of the study also resonate with the concept of collectivism and power distance, which are significant cultural dimensions affecting leadership styles in Asian societies, also entering TUMI 2003. Popular cultural studies such as Globe Project 2004 and of course Hofstede's 2001 have not included Brunei in their study of leadership and culture. All these elements, namely leadership, public sector, and the national context, could offer additional challenges to public sector leadership. The influence of culture on leadership practice in Brunei. From the findings, cultural constraints on leadership is one of the influence. The research indicates that national culture significantly constrains public sector leadership. Bruneian values, which prioritize harmony and conflict avoidance, can hinder necessary organizational changes and performance appraisals. Leaders often feel pressured to maintain a peaceful environment, which may prevent them from addressing inefficiencies or conflict directly. Tua Menuakan act to minimize conflict and have further implications relating to organizational change and performance appraisal processes. Challenges of change management. The study reveals that Bruneian culture values encourage acceptance of the status quo, making it difficult for leaders to express dissatisfaction with existing systems. This reluctance to challenge the norm can stifle innovation and improvement within public sector organizations. Tua Menuakan encourages people to be cautious, to fear failure, and to accept the status quo. There's also issues of fairness and justice. The findings highlight that cultural tribal activities and Islamic work ethics create tensions regarding fairness in recruitment, selection, and promotion processes. These tensions were evident in certain leadership processes, such as supporting followers for promotion and providing a truthful appraisal of their followers' performance. Issues such as favoritism, nepotism, and cronyism were highlighted to contribute to the potential systemic weaknesses of implementing strategies, policies, and work processes which undermine the integrity of leadership and organizational effectiveness. There's also avoidance of accountability. The paper also discusses how the cultural value of menjaga air mua, as mentioned just now, preserving one's reputation, leads to avoidance behaviors in addressing individual accountability. This results in a lack of transparency and difficulty in resolving issues, as leaders and subordinates tend to seek impersonal explanations rather than confronting problems directly. There appeared to be less risk-taking by subordinates to participate in decision-making, and a strong feeling that conflict or disgracing others in organization is undesirable and to be avoided wherever and whenever possible. Formal criticism of individuals is regarded as unprofessional and destructive. It has also led subordinates to avoid revealing the truth and, as a result, made it difficult to resolve issues and improve transparency. For future recommendations, the study suggests that there is a need to develop a customer-oriented culture within the public sector, akin to frameworks used in other countries. Charismatic leaders could play a crucial role in transforming workplace culture that fits with the impersonal and effective services for the public sector clientele as required and designed by the bureaucracy concept. For future research, the paper calls for further exploration of how Bruneian leaders can articulate their leadership views using local concepts, which may help in adapting Western business practices to better align with Bruneian culture values. This could enhance understanding and effectiveness in public sector management. The study highlights the impact of cultural values such as awar galat, menjaga air mua, menjaga periuk nasi, and tua menuakan on leadership behaviors and decision-making processes within the organization. In conclusion, the paper sheds light on the complex interplay between cultural values and leadership practices in Brunei's public sector, emphasizing the need for a shift toward more effective management strategies that embrace transparency, accountability, and customer orientation. The case study on cultural values and leadership in Brunei sheds light on the intricate relationship between national culture and leadership practices in the public sector. It underscores the need for leaders to navigate cultural nuances while upholding professional standards and ethical conduct in their roles. That's all for my presentation. Thank you so much.